Alright guys, welcome to today's training video. Today we're going to be talking about implementing your universal voice standard conference line. So what this is basically we're plugging in a telephone in order to have that broadcast in the connect room, and then of course be able to capture that telephony audio in your recordings. Now this is not to be confused with integrated audio. This is not the same thing. This is different. This is essentially you just plugging in a standard 1-800 or toll-free number into your connect room, and that's how we'll get the two systems to talk to each other. So you can do this on an individual profile basis, or we can also do it on an administrative level. If you do it on an administrative level, obviously all of your meeting hosts, anyone conducting these connect sessions will be able to use that provider in their connect rooms and make, and link up essentially the telephone system to that connect room. If you do it on an individual basis, just simply under your profile, that is only going to be able to be usable by you. So we're going to do it from my profile in this case for today's demonstration. But again, if you want to do this on an admin level, the same sort of instructions apply. So first thing we'll do is we'll go to my audio providers. We need to set up the provider first, and then we'll go ahead and create the audio profile, and we'll associate that audio profile with your connect room. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll kind of walk you guys through the steps in order to do that. So again, we're going to click on my profile, and then we're going to click on my audio providers, and then we're going to click on new provider. And we're going to go ahead and name this provider. So whatever provider you're using for your telephony system, whether you're using Verizon, AT&T, etc., I'm going to call this sample provider, sample audio provider, I think would be better. And we're going to go ahead and select the status to enabled. Obviously, we don't want this to be disabled. We want to be able to use it. Next thing we're going to do is going to go ahead and click add number. And I'm going to go ahead and call this North America for the location, and then for my number I'm just going to use a random one here, 571-468-6336. If you guys try to use this number, it's not going to work, so don't try. And then we're going to go ahead and proceed with the dial-in steps. So first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to click add step, and essentially what we're doing here is we're teaching Connect to kind of act as if it's a robot. And Connect itself is going to learn the dial-in steps as if it was a real person. And that is how it's able to capture the audio in the connect room. So we're going to click on Add Step, and we're going to select Conference Number. And we're actually going to label this Conference Number. That's the label of the step. And then we'll go ahead and enter in the phone number. So again, this is going to be a, actually for our number, it needs to be a 1-800 number. So my 571 doesn't work. So 1-800-345 4567. And then we're going to go ahead and add another step, and this is going to be a delay step. So make sure you select delay, because again, normally when you dial into a conference, you gotta wait a couple seconds, and then it's going to ask you to input your code. So we're going to call this 3-second delay for the label, and then you're actually going to put in 3000, because it's actually 3000 milliseconds. Then we're going to add another step. And this step is going to be a DTMF step. And here we're going to go ahead and select conference code. Now, you guys do not want to put in the host code. You want to go ahead and put in the participant code. If you put in the host code, a lot of telephony providers and conference lines only allow for one telephony host. So if you make Connect that telephony host, you will have no power to control that audio when you're actually inside the connect room, because technically Connect would be the host. So you want to make sure you put in a participant code. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and throw in, let's say that the participant code is 34567. And then we're going to add one more step, and that's going to be another DTMF step. And that is going to be the pound sign. So we're going to label that pound sign, and then you're actually going to put the pound symbol in there. And then what you'll be able to do is to verify all of this and all of the information that you've entered, you're just going to simply click test dial-in steps. Now, I just made this number out of my head. I just made it up, so it's actually not going to successfully connect. But you guys will see if you do enter in the correct credentials, I should say, you will see a connected successfully message there in the dialog box. So once you've created your audio provider, you're going to click Save, and now you're going to be able to go ahead and create an audio profile to essentially embed that provider. So I'm going to click on the Audio Profiles button right here, and we're going to go ahead and create a new profile. So there's a New Profile button over on the right-hand side, and I'm not just going to have to select the provider. So I called this one sample audio provider. That's the one we just created. And I'm just going to call this Kyle's sample audio line. You know, of course, you can name your audio profiles whatever you want. Click Save again. And now, if I wanted to go to any of my connect rooms, let's do a meeting room, for example. I want to go ahead and click on New Meeting. And to associate this audio profile with this connect room, I'm just going to scroll down to my audio conference settings. And you're going to be able to see that audio provider and profile that we just created. So I'll select it, click Finish. And then when you actually enter that connect room, you're going to see something like this, where you're going to see a little dialog box pop up. And it's going to say, hey, would you like to start the audio conference with this meeting? You are going to want to click Start. If you click Cancel, you are not going to be able to initiate that audio conference, and therefore, when you go to have your session, it's not going to be capturing the recordings. So, now that you've clicked Start Audio Conference, it's going to go through the dial-in steps that we had just instructed Connect on how to do, and then you're probably going to hear some lobby music. Now the lobby music is going to stay on until a host for that conference line dials in, and that is where you are going to go ahead and dial in. So you're going to go ahead and do the same steps that we taught Connect how to do. You're going to type in that number on your phone, but instead of using a participant code, you're going to use a host code. And when you dial in yourself, the lobby music will stop when you're inside the room and you'll be able to host that session. Now, this is just a standard connection that I just created from scratch. So when you're using Universal Voice, it's always usually helpful to create a notes pod and have that displayed somewhere, and then put out the audio information so that people know what to dial in. So I'd say, please dial in, and then I'll put the phone number in there. So if it's like so, we can go ahead and we can do that. So I highly recommend making that available for everyone to see. Makes it easy on people and they know exactly where to go. And then of course you want to put in the participant code as well. So that's it for today's training. If you guys are interested in learning how to set up integrated audio, that's going to be in another video. So be sure to check that out soon. Thanks guys.